hesitation, no doubts.
That's it?
That's it.
I got it.
And now a word from
Ron and Fez.
People call me Wonder Boy.
I don't miss him yet.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Buddies.
Made a little mistake there with the big thumb. Hit the wrong button.
It'll happen.
Wanted to hit the cowbell, ended up hitting...
People call me Wonder Boy.
And just left it at that.
I was ready to blame it on Wonder Boy.
Well, it sure is. You know, like a lot of times he just let everybody know who he is. All right, Fezzy, it's time for the fastest hour in radio. I'm Ron, there's Fez.
Hi, everyone.
And we are live tonight.
That's right, live on WJFK and Live 105.7.
All right, Fezzy, Matt Drudge has on the Drudge Report tonight that John Kerry will pick Hillary Clinton as his running mate. Will this happen?
You know what? I, as much as anyone, probably more than anyone, would love a gimmicky running mate.
Yeah.
I love a gimmick. I don't think this is going to happen. This will not happen.
You think it's just crazy Drudge talk?
It's crazy Drudge talk. And one thing they actually said about John Edwards as being the running mate is he's so charismatic. Me, personally, I don't see it. But he's so charismatic, he might outshadow or overshadow John Kerry.
Who said this? Where are you getting your information that this guy could overshadow John Kerry? He didn't in the nomination process. He got no heat whatsoever.
So now, and I think John Kerry... I don't think he's going to do this for the same reason.
But who are the people who said these things that you're saying?
I saw some political... I think this was MSNBC where I saw this.
That's crazy talk. That's just crazy talk. I think, he'd want to bring the best in. I don't believe that this is the pick. I would not doubt that they're not floating that balloon to see how people feel about it, though. I think that's a possibility.
Do you think with the Bill Clinton book out that Clinton mania is running wild again enough to add some momentum to this?
Yeah, I think maybe that could help, but I don't know. I think there's so much negative. There's just as much negative things tied in with the Clintons as there is positive things. I'm just not betting that it is going to happen, but I wouldn't doubt that they're just going, all right, this will get us a couple days in the news. It'll have everybody talking a little bit. So I think that maybe the Dems are behind that just to see how everybody's going to react to it.
I do think finally he is going to end up doing a safe bet, like a John Edwards or a Dick Gephardt.
Well, those things aren't safe if you don't win. That's only a safe bet if you feel like you can win. If he's not sure, I'd pull out everything I had because no matter what happens, your whole theory or the MSNBC theory about overshadowing, you're the President of the United States. Nobody overshadows the President of the United States if you win.
This Iowa guy keeps getting pushed. The governor of Iowa, Vilsack.
Well, that will pull Des Moines. I don't know about anywhere else, though.
He's going to have to comb his hair if he's going to be a running mate. People, I don't want one of those Wolfowitz things where he's licking his comb when he's on TV. Now, so far in the presidential race, John Kerry's look has been described in the papers as the Addams Family's lurch. That was from Hal Raines, formerly of the New York Times. An abstract tribal mass in the New Yorker. One of the Lord of the Rings talking trees. That was Knight Ridder's Dick Pullman. A droopy hound dog in the Chicago Tribune. And whacked with an ugly stick in the Columbia Journalism Review.
Now, every one of these things would be mean and out of the question unless, they make you picture him like each one of these has. Everything I heard, I can see it. He does look like a talking tree. Okay, I get it. Tribal mask. I'm with you. I think the only really mean thing is that hit with an ugly stick. And plus, it's not very witty. It's been around since the 20s.
Now, I thought he was always pushed as a good-looking guy. That he was a good-looking, charismatic candidate. And now he's getting the droopy hound dog look.
Well, now he's 60. He's been around since the 60s. That's the problem. He didn't grow into his face. His face kept growing. That's the problem for him. I don't think it matters, though.
If they put him on Mount Rushmore, there's no way they can do it. There is not enough rock if he becomes a really good president.
See, I'm going to go off here away from the rest of them. I think he looks like the mean vampire in that 80s vampire movie. Like, I'd invite you to the house this time, John Kerry.
Oh, Edward Herman in The Lost Boys.
Yeah, he does have an Edward Herman look about him, which isn't ugly, but it is definitely long-faced. And the guy isn't, so hideous that he'd marry $1 billion. I like to see any of these go out and get the $1 billion payday.
That's going to be such good news for Edward Herman because usually he plays FDR or Rockefeller.
Yeah.
So this is another politician he could add to his repertoire.
And, I mean, if you're talking about good-looking presidents, we've had a lot of them that didn't seem, look at Lincoln, not an attractive man, and yet the chicks were into him.
Maybe that's what Kerry should try, a stovetop hat. A watchdog group says it'll file a complaint with federal election officials accusing 2 conservative groups of illegally helping Ralph Nader's presidential campaign.
We got to get behind this Nader. I like the idea of a Nader.
So they say they have records of phone calls telling people to get Nader on the Oregon ballot coming from Bush-Cheney campaign headquarters in Oregon.
That's hysterical. And, what do you expect? It's politics as usual.
It's leave no stone unturned. There's no one is safe enough.
Actually, if I was them, I'd rather be pushing the Nader thing than my own candidate. That's the beauty of this angle.
Now, I was wondering this. If John Kerry dropped out of the race for whatever reason, who would they put in there as a quick nominee?
Who would do that? The party would make the nomination?
Yeah, they would. They would come up with. They would have to do it at the convention.
Yeah.
So basically, it would be like all those primaries happening at a convention.
Yeah, there's nobody that ran in that election that they would put in. They would probably put in Hillary Clinton because she's a well-known name, and she could get some kind of a bounce out of it. But your beautiful John Edwards, I couldn't see anybody getting behind him.
I wonder if they would go back to Gore.
Gore's a real possibility, but I don't, again, why are you bringing this up? It's not happening.
It's just wondering.
Yeah.
And the Republicans, who would they grab?
The Republicans should grab John McCain, who would be the perfect candidate for either party this year. That's the problem with that. Now, speaking of which, Fezzi, did you see what happened with Dick Cheney last night? He's at the Yankees game, sitting with Governor Pataki, sitting with Rudy Giuliani. Apparently, everybody gets a nice hand till they hit the vice president, and then the boos start.
These people aren't welcome anywhere.
Well, no, it seems like Giuliani didn't have a problem, and he's a Republican.
No, I meant Bush and Cheney.
Pataki, well, when Bush went up there and threw out the first pitch a couple of years ago, everybody went crazy for him. But I'm wondering, is this a turn from and you're saying, okay, that's New York City, they always go Democrat. You look at, they do for president. You look at the last couple of mayors have been Republican. There's a Republican governor in that place. So, and basically, when you're in the Bronx at a Yankees game, you're looking at a pretty middle and upper class white audience. I'm wondering if they're going to see that as a bad sign now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a bad sign. It's a ball game, and the guy just gets booed. It's like, we talked about the president just not being welcome in Ireland.
Yeah.
And I think that whole sentiment, that's, this country as well as other ones.
So you're thinking, no way does the Bush team win this year?
I don't know. They will not win.
Wow.
It's already done.
Have you turned around? Have you changed?
I have.
You turned your back on the party you loved.
They turned their back on me, Ron.
Yeah.
On me.
I got some email today. Maybe I'll read it later tonight about you and I should start and keep our pie hole shut about politics.
Well, I agree with that. But Saddam Hussein will still have the chance to act as his own attorney when he's charged tomorrow in front of the tribunal.
Yeah, he would be the best guy for it. I would love to see this. It would just be fun for everybody.
Well, Slobodan Milosevic is already doing it in his war crimes tribunal, so it may be catching on.
He's yesterday's news, though. Who cares about him?
And Saddam went in introducing himself as the president of the Republic of Iraq today. So he's got the mindset. He's ready to do it.
Remember when they told us that he was crazy and out of his mind? I'm telling you right now, the last thing they want is this trial on TV. It could mean bad news for a lot of people.
And amazing, I couldn't believe it's going to be on TV. That they're going to show this thing.
I'll believe it when I see it, Fez. I just can't believe they're going to allow it to happen. I will believe this all when it all happens.
Saddam's just going to go in and point to everyone running the tribunal and tell them they're all arrested.
who knows what he's going to do? I'm going to tell you right now, don't think that he's like a stupid guy. He somehow got those people to follow him for all those years. And you know he's got connections all over the world with different leaders, and people are going to be cringing if he starts talking.
Well, he's been in jail before and ended up the president of the Republic of Iraq.
Yeah, and if he turns this thing around, starts talking about pro-Arab things and starts calling us the infidels, he could fire that place up. It won't be a good situation. All right, we're going to take a break here. You're listening to the fastest hour in radio. It's the Ron and Fez Show.